Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Get Play Soon. In this video, we're going to discuss process control block, also known as PCB in short. So this is the 8th video in the series of operating system. If you haven't watched my previous videos yet, then make sure you watch them. So if you don't know what is process, then you might watch my previous 2 to 3 videos. Then only you'll understand this video. So make sure you watch them. Make sure you support our channel Get Play Soon. Now let's get started with today's topic, process control block. As you can see on the left side, you can see a block of information. So process control block is nothing but a place where you store all the information. Now let's read this definition and understand. A process control block, in short PCB, is a data structure used by operating system to manage and control processes. So when I say the word data structure, you need to understand data structure is nothing but a place where you can store data. Structure, when you use the word structure, it means the way you store it. Okay. So PCB is a place you store the information about something. It's also given that PCB used by operating system to control processors. So this block is nothing but the information, all A to Z information about the process. Moving ahead, let's see what it contains. It contains information about specific process, allowing the operating system to keep track of its state and manage its execution. So during execution, it's very important to know the details of the process. So during execution, as we discussed in the previous videos also, operating system is the one thing which manages a multiple processes. So during that management, during execution, we need to know the information about the process. And this information is stored in this format called process control block. Moving ahead, let's understand the uses of process control block. The first is efficient management. So when there is a point of multitasking, doing multiple things at a time, several processors are working at a time. During that time, knowing process information is very important, or else we might confuse which process is doing what. So to do that management, we need PCB. Moving on to the second thing, resource allocation. During execution, the process needs some kind of resources. So the code might have something and it might need to access some kind of hardware paths. And all these things, in order to manage, we need process control block. Moving ahead, context switching. Enable smooth transition between processes. So operating system is the one which is managing all the process we already know. When operating system is managing, and suppose consider two processes are in a rush to do a task, and one process is went to some stage like wait stage, and then other process can go to the running stage. So two process can do half of works back to back. So that part is known as context switching. The fourth thing is unique identification. It provides distinct identifier for each process, that is called process ID. So in order to not get confused, unique identification is very important. Now let's go through each one of the components of PCB and understand what they are. The first thing we have is process ID, a unique identifier assigned to each process. Just like we have our Aadhaar number or PAN card or some college ID, every process has its own ID. It's in short known as PID. The next we have process state. Process state indicates whether the process is ready, running, blocked, or terminated. These states are nothing but the life cycle of the process. So if you haven't watched my previous video, you must watch that to understand what is ready, what is running, what is blocked and terminated. So these are the stages in which the process goes through. Make sure you watch my previous video. Moving ahead, we have process priority. The priority level assigned to the process is used for scheduling purposes. So there is some kind of process which has to be completed very immediately. And there is another which is important to run but not in a rush, right? So the less important one will be given a later chance. The most important is given a chance to run first. So that is known as priority. So for each and every process, a priority is assigned, and this will also help the OS to manage, right? So this is process priority. Moving ahead, we have accounting information. Accounting information is nothing but the data for tackling resource usage. During execution, the process might use the resources. While using the resources, it needs to know how much time the resources are used, what resources are used, etc. For analysis, all this information is stored, and that is nothing but accounting information. Moving ahead, we have program counter. Program counter is nothing but the address of next instruction to be executed. So a process while running, it is nothing but a series of instructions. One by one it gets executed. Program counter has the address of next instruction. Okay, next we have CPU registers. CPU register stores the information like stack pointer, accumulator, what type of registers are used by the process, etc. So all this information is stored in CPU registers. Moving ahead, we have parent process ID. If you have watched my previous videos, you must have understood from one program multiple processors are generated, and from one process multiple processes can be created or spun, right? So parent process ID notes the information from which the current process is created. Okay, moving ahead, list of open files. So this PCB tracks the files opened by the process, what all things it used, how much time it is used. So it has the detailed information of what all things happened during execution. That is nothing but list of open files. Moving ahead, input output status information. Information about the process input, output, or pending request of input output. All these things happen during the command prompt. So all this information is stored here. Moving ahead, memory management information. Details about process memory such as base and limit registers. All these things are stored in memory management information. So you can see the dots here because the PCB contains a lot of things. So I kept dots because you need to mention the most common and most used things in this PCB. So these are the most important components of PCB. PCB is very important for smooth execution of tasks because PCB provides the necessary content for the operating system to switch between process, save and restore their states, and allocate system resources efficiently. And this is a very important question for college exams and other exams also. So I hope you understood this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. That's it from my side. Bye bye.